the Chain with Vanessa Shark with TeamJVS right out of WonderCon 2024, day 2. Holy shit.
It was a much better day today.
Much better today. A lot of circumstances, like, I think, lined up for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Vanessa, you take lead. You went to an abundant amount of panels.
Mm-hmm.
How did day 2 of WonderCon go for you thus far?
It's a lot busier. I'm exhausted. I went to Marv Wolfman's panel. That was the first one I did of the day, and it was incredible. Marv is one of my all-time favorites. If you don't know who he is, shame on you. But he is the creator of the new Teen Titans, which is my all-time favorite, one of my all-time favorite books, one of my all-time favorite teams. One of my all-time favorite superheroes is Starfire. So like that's his baby, him and George Perez's baby.
Yeah.
And I also learned some stuff today because I like I've said before, if you know me, I am a DC girl, period. So I don't know a whole lot about Marvel. So I learned that he created Blade while he was writing the Dracula series, which is really fucking cool. So we talked a lot about his life and just what he's got going on and what he was doing. Like it was really cool just to hear everything from his. He said he worked with Gene Simmons. Like the life that this man has lived is crazy. So it was really. I'm really glad I got the opportunity to like hear him speak. I would have loved to got an opportunity to talk to him one-on-one, but did not work out that way. He's very busy. But I wanted to see him because I never got a chance to see George Perez in person before he passed. So I am glad that I got the chance to see Mark. Our legends are getting old.
Yeah.
And so if you get the opportunity to see him at a con, please go and support them and talk to him. That was dope. I went to a couple panels, Best Superpower panel. What is the Best Superpower panel? Which had a bunch of different people. Justin, how do you say his last name?
Justin. Even now I'm Virginia. Fuck.
I know. I'm terrible to pronounce. It's
Nguyen?
I think it's Nguyen. It's a Vietnamese last name. It's pretty common, but
we apologize if we butchered it.
I'm
but
so sorry.
Yeah.
But he was on there. Patrick Ballesteros. Who else? Grace Ellis. A bunch of different people, writers, artists that were basically. It was a fun panel. Literally, the whole premise was. Each of them were going to pitch the best superhero, and then we had to pick it apart, and then we voted on it at the end. It was a really fun panel. Kids were involved. It was really cool just to see, hear everyone talk. Dustin was hilarious because he was just like, not very involved, but it was very like sarcastic. The overall power of that one was, I think his name was Jimmy. He sold his inventor idea really well. So because I think basically everyone was just biased towards Batman and Iron Man like characters. So that was a fun panel, and then I saw the Women Rock Hollywood panel, which was a lot of writers, a lot of directors, stunt coordinators, Reservation Dogs, The Holdovers. There's some other stuff. There's a new movie called Tarot coming out. It's a horror movie from a woman director. Amy. There's Amy Green, who was a stunt director, who's really cool. I got a nice soundbite of her like talking about like. Enforcing humane working hours on our set, so like 8 to 10 hour days, nothing over. Like I love that they're talking about like work-life balance. It's really cool to hear women talk about just pushing through in Hollywood, which is still very predominantly male driven. Just cool just hearing them talk, and I'll obviously more in my write up about like all of that clips and stuff. God, and then Todd Knock and Gail Simone. I saw their artist spotlights too. Todd Knock is great. He's a dork. He's still like a geek. It's cool to see like the writers of the stuff that you love still be geek. Todd Knock did Young Justice. He's back and doing stuff now. I think he's doing. He did the X-Men '97 covers for the tie-in comic. He's doing a bunch of other stuff. Like he's working for both Marvel and DC now, coming out with like new stuff. He did the Stargirl and the Lost Children series, which is actually really good. Todd Knock's art is actually really good. I actually enjoy the cartoonishness of it. And then Gail Simone's an icon, legend, the moment. Bro. She's so fucking cool, and her husband moderated, so it was such a fun panel. Yeah. So they were just going back and forth. That's the kind of marriage that I think everyone kind of dreams of. Is like just slow, lightly roasting each other and out of love. It was just a fun panel, and she, talked about coining the term women in refrigerators. She talked about a lot of new projects she's got coming on. They did a really quick flash of a Superman thing that she might be working on, and then they wouldn't answer questions about it. So we were all of us, especially the press, were like, "Excuse me, can you go back to the Superman thing?" And they're like, "No, we're not talking about the Superman thing." I was like, "Damn it!" So I don't even know if they were allowed to talk about it or even like show it. It was just like a really quick line sketch of Superman in the Clark and the fedora, the classic opening of his shirt. So I'm really excited. I think we're getting some Gail Simone and Superman, which is wild because Gail hasn't been in comics she spent a lot of time writing novels, a Red Sonja novel, and now she's doing Uncanny X-Men. She said that she chose her Uncanny X-Men based on how kissable they look, which I thought was fabulous. She's doing, what else is she doing? She's doing something else. She's basically like they just were putting her in a bunch of different projects right now, but there's an upcoming Superman thing, I think, because they showed it they showed it at her panel and they wouldn't answer anything about it, so I'm very excited. But then I met up with Ronin. I also went on the floor a while and met up with some writers. I saw Dennis Culver, who's an Unstoppable Doom Patrol writer. Got to see Jay Lee. Just Artist Alley is packed, so I'm gonna head there tomorrow too and talk to some more artists. But yeah, I met up with Ronin, and we got to see the X-Men panel. I'll let him take it over because he's like,
what?
Yeah.
Before we even touch that, what the fuck? Gail Simone and Superman?
Yeah.
I heard about the Uncanny X-Men thing, and I had a very, very touching exchange with her on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot fucking wait. I haven't read, I don't know what we're going to talk about, but for a while I stayed off the X-Men books just because I was lining in more into the independent stuff, Image stuff, Boom Studio stuff, but the minute I heard they were doing another run of X-Men, and that she was spearheading one, I immediately was just like, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, a show not brought back to life to me. I've always loved the X-Men, but the interest to engage with that, because I highly, because you spoke so highly of Gail. I just to you, if you haven't read her Wonder Woman Conan miniseries, go read that.
Yep.
Along with those,
Secrets, Birds of Prey. Gail is an icon.
her run on Domino and Domino Hot Shots. I think if Zazie Beetz was to come back and play Domino, I would say you do that run and you adapt it all the way. That is shocking to me that she's doing that Superman, and if she's doing Superman, again, it's just speculative. Wow, that really was like, what the fuck?
I know. I'm excited, and we probably won't know anything more about it until maybe the summer, probably Comic-Con and
yes, I think so. When something more iron than one.
Yeah, I think right now it's just very in the preliminary, so I'm excited.
But I want you folks to see this energy now compared to yesterday. Yesterday, although stuff was there, and I did reunite with fellow YouTubers, and I did get to meet Ashley Eckstein and all that stuff. As a whole, the day, it is night and day, pun intended. Today was so electric, and we had weather going on at the same time.
Right.
So take into account that today was a much better improvement, in my opinion, of yesterday. Although it still was calm, today was the energy you would expect from a weekend at Comic-Con or WonderCon. I'm glad each panel was just like solid and engaging with you for the whole time.
So good.
I too got on the floor, and I did bump into some other friends of mine, the boys Agustin Rios and Hector Navarro. Agustin Rios y Hector Navarro from Heroes Before Us. I bumped into them, and our fellow friend Wes there, and spent time with them. We were talking about stuff, catching up, and today energy was just different and whatnot, which leads up to something that we were planning. So we got here, we heard there was an X-Men 97 panel. I was intrigued as hell, because at the same time I found out Lenore Zong was here doing signs, and next thing you know, AJ, the actor who's voicing Gambit now, is here, and I was like, this is interesting. I wonder if they'll show up to that panel, because that time I didn't know if the cast was going to be there or not. And then next thing you know, this image that hopefully you'll see is that the actors and actresses and actors who voiced Jubilee, Bishop, Morph, Magneto, Roberto, Justin, the producer and whatnot, were there. And I was like, okay, that's going to be the panel of the day, maybe the weekend, I would argue. And again, much like this is nerdy stuff, we planned out, okay, if it's going to be packed, we should be there early. Even if we have press, it's a madhouse, because this show is right now nuclear, and it's just going to get nuclear in my opinion. So we should be there early just to get good seats for coverage for y'all, and to make sure that we can get the best audio and best way to cover the panel itself and the audience as well. And then before that, there was a Scott Pilgrim panel that unfortunately got canceled, which breaks my heart because I'm also a Scott Pilgrim fan. And so I was going to sit through that panel leading up to the Magnum Opus of '97. And within me being on another panel at the Collider's Director panel, which hopefully you get to see some footage later on, which was dynamic and cool. It was unique to see all these directors talk about the process within themselves and how each of them asking them. There was a point that Frosty, Steam Wardrop, who's a phenomenal interviewer, was asking questions, but then at points the directors took over and was like, what do you think about this? How did you do that shot? So that was cool to be in a room where the peers themselves were talking about the process and the craft and whatnot. But I was there when I got a message saying, yo, Scott Pilgrim got canceled. The panel's not happening more. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I went to the panels that were in. Gail and Todd were in the same room as Scott Pilgrim and X-Men. So when I went there to go to the panels, I saw on the sign that said canceled. I was like, that's right.
Okay. And so we were like, all right. And we talked about it. And we were like, I'm still gonna sit there. I'll wait that hour. And so did everybody else. So, folks, when I wear this shirt, when we attend this panel, I gotta tell you, folks, I haven't felt that energy. Frankly, I love Ashley Stein and I love the panel we did yesterday. You felt that love there, but this energy feels like at the height of the Infinity War Endgame era, when Marvel Studios would take up their projects to Hall H. It felt like that. And this was sort of one show, one team in Marvel Comics, and for one cast and one crew that had been doing it, and for one amazing piece of art, which is animation. Folks, we were there an hour, and it went like
so fast.
That 45 minutes went like
it could have been 2 hours. I wouldn't notice. They should have had it in a bigger room. I'm not gonna lie. Once they added the cast, they should have added to put them in a bigger room.
Folks, hopefully by this time, by when you see this, we can get the footage out that I captured. There are our fellow geeky brothers and sisters. Just the energy was palpable. You could feel the love and engagement we have with these characters, with these stories, and with this team, and what that idea of X-Men means. At points, people were rounding of applause. Anybody who was cosplaying as Storm.
Yes, there was like 4 Storms, and they all took a picture together. All the Cyclops took a picture, and then the Madeline Pryor came in. It was like a red carpet for the cosplayers. It was amazing. I got pictures and video. I'm like, love.
And then the panel starts, and we bring out the cast, and they're playing the X-Men theme, and it just, I told you and I told people, it felt the closest I felt to like Beatlemania. You watch all those black and white footage of the Beatles being chased by kids, girls, boys, adults all around the world at their concerts. It felt like that, except we were more civilized, but we were just shouting and screaming and applauding and yelling as much as they were. Hopefully I captured as much as I could from that panel to talk about how their process were of getting their roles. What was their first thing, their first connection to the X-Men as an idea, the points of views they came across. I know Holly, I think her name is, who plays Jubilee, talked about what Jubilee means to her.
As an Asian American,
and how she, as it was kids, they showed us a cute photo of her as a kid dressed for Storm. And that for her, yes, it's a big deal, Jubilee, but she was always a road girl, which I thought that was a cool thing about bringing it up. And hearing how Lenore Zahn quit acting 12 years ago and went into politics.
4 terms, right?
4 terms.
In Canada.
4 terms in Canada.
What?
And it went to I believe, Mark, forgive me if I'm butchering his name, who plays Magneto.
Matthew Watterson. Matthew Watterson. He is a tall man. A very tall man.
The process of what he talked about how Magneto, because at one point they're like, that UN speech, oh boy, and he delved deep into breaking down. It was just amazing, unique thing to experience. how the actor plays Morph.
JP, I loved that. As someone who's like, I appreciate queer stories a lot, and I appreciate that they got someone who was queer. Obviously, I believe JP is also non-binary, playing Morph, who is non-binary, and I thought that was amazing. I think that also the actor is just like has a great sense of humor.
Funny,
just really funny. All of them are really funny. Like had great timing, so it was nice. Felt like we were just like kicking it back with our friends. So I really appreciate JP talking about how like Morph is a queer character who's like is a comic relief, but comes from trauma, and like a lot of queer people use humor to like that connected with me immediately. Yeah, use humor to like push people back. Like it's
You could tell these people, it wasn't just a job for them.
Yeah,
they gave a shit about the X-Men. The producer, how they even shouted out crew members, people who worked on the show that were in the audience. We all gave them a round of applause and whatnot.
Yeah.
I haven't felt that much energy, positivity, love in a while for a Marvel thing in a while, folks. The closest I can think that is our reactions. I think it was just hollering, hollering, and shouting and screaming, yelling is the closest I felt to that.
Everyone was, everyone. We were all. It felt like we were in one of those interactive theaters where people were just like
40X.
Yeah, it just was like really. Yeah. It was a good vibe, and I've been to San Diego Comic-Con a few times. I've been to the Arrowverse panel. That was like the energy in the X-Men '97 room was similar, even more intense. But like very similar to the Arrowverse, like when they would do like the full day on Saturday in Ballroom B of all the Arrowverse shows and every cast, and like you could just because that universe. So we could talk about this. You could talk shit about CW all day. I know I do, but the energy, the audience they fostered, the loyalty, the fact that like X-Men '97 has that, and obviously it's built off of the fact that of the previous fan of the show's previous fandom, but the fact that like they were even I think Lenore, yeah, she even said like it's so cool to see like
new people,
young faces. Like she did the first like series, and just hearing her voice. Now I was obsessed with Rogue's voice when I was a kid. Obsessed. I would lower my voice and get like just to sound like her. She has no idea that the impact on a generation of girls that want to sound like her.
She did the voice a couple times. I was just like, oh boy.
Yeah, she's got that voice is one of the they were correct to get the smoky, sexy voice. She nailed it.
Anytime she said sugar, I was like, ho ho! And listen, these people came from different backgrounds. They came from how they. I love the story about how they each came to the X-Men in different ways.
Yeah.
A couple of them even quoted the video games, Marvel vs. Capcom, which
I know. Wild.
I know somebody who right now has been high praised in the show, Maximilian Dude, who's a big Twitch streamer, said that's how he connected to the show and how he watched it. He was like, oh my gosh. If you're an old fan, you'll love this. If you're a new fan, you'll love it, which is what I think I've been preaching for the longest. And folks, there was a big line for Q&A, and unfortunately, again, it went like that
so fast
that it felt bad that we couldn't answer everybody's questions.
Like there was like 10 people, 15 people in line, only like 5 or 6 people. It was.
But there was some cool, unique questions asked and whatnot, and I wish I would have captured it on the video, but I was just happy and applauding. But the minute the panel ended and they were getting up from the seats, you could see the wave. It was almost watching like the ocean wave, turning people just lining up. And mea culpa, me too, to either get an autograph or a photo or whatnot. I just wanted to get a photo. I felt like, all right, this autographs, I don't have stuff. I'm like, I'm covering this, and I want them to make sure they get on the way, but I'm like, I gotta try to get a photo.
Yeah.
And it turned, again, using it, Beatlemania. People were they were so sweet to sign stuff, take photos. I managed to snag photos, and now I can't wait. Like any tiredness I have, revamp with that panel.
Agreed. Right, I was exhausted the entire day.
Yes.
As soon as I got that, I was like, ooh, second wind. Yeah.
Folks. Today was a good day.
It was a really good day. Even the floor, like even just being on the floor it felt different. I told him when I saw him, I was like, it felt different. Like the energy felt different today. Even with the rain, I walked in the rain. As soon as I got inside, I was like, all right, let's go. Like it doesn't matter. Every cosplayers at their tents. Everyone looks good. I think also because it's Saturday, so more people are here. So it was just busier, but it just felt like everyone was just like, okay, yesterday was tired, whatever. We're here, and the energy today was better.
So, we're gonna wrap that up by saying 2 thumbs up in my opinion for day 2 of WonderCon. I'd like to especially thank again the cast, the crew of X-Men 97. I think your panelists did a phenomenal job with the energy you got out of this place, and yeah, it was fucking awesome. Vanessa, what are your last thoughts on day 2?
Last thoughts on day 2 was it went better, even better than I expected it to. I'm very happy, and I'm glad with all the content we got. Really good shit. I'm happy. Yeah.
Where can people find you?
People find me on Vanessa Shark on Instagram, Twitter. I'm tweeting and posting photos and stuff. VanessaShark.com, multiversalcolor.com, and also TeamJVS. We will have all the stuff up there. Yeah.
And you can catch me at Ronin Unchained, reacting, reviewing, vlogging. You're gonna see definitely a vlog series of this WonderCon 2024. Podcasting. I am setting up stuff to be like, okay, I want to get people from the shows and movies and other podcasts to get into the channel. So stay tuned. We're gonna be covering more stuff for you at TeamJVS, and hopefully tomorrow's last day of WonderCon is a big hoorah. Till then, take care, everybody.
Bye.
Beautiful.
Cool. All right. Now you can get your
Filing out the top of the I can see the skyline, 50 mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on my mind. Oh Lord.